fuck it, that page doesn't exist. Look, as y'all see today, we got a bit more news. We got a bit more news than usual. Cause the other day, I guess the other day, since I ain't have a lot of news, my timeline really wanted to come through for me. Cause I got a lot. Now, part of this, hold on, pop up on my other screen. No, I don't want to do none of that right now. Now, part of what y'all seeing on my screen, like the reason why it's so many tweets in a row is because I had a part where I gotta say RP to a great musician, Quincy Jones, and me as somebody who's been listening to Negro music, black music, hip hop, and all the hip hop adjacent genres, that being everything that'll come after it and before it. I've listened to a lot of Quincy Jones work, and it's really sad to see him pass away. And you may not realize it, but you've listened to a lot of his work as well. And I'm going to showcase some of that, but that'll be a little bit later. And if you're watching this on the VOD version on YouTube, that'll be a different video that hopefully I remember to link at the end of the damn vid. Oh, I just realized I forgot to start linking a new YouTube video at the end of my shit. Yeah. It's definitely gonna be at this one now that I'm remembering it now. But new YouTube video essay out. Go check that out. Now that I'm done promoting shit to you before the video starts, I'm gonna tell you to make sure you hit that subscribe. No, let me stop. I mean, actually do that, but no, let me stop. First thing we got today is Nintendo's music app has great ideas and frustrating limitations. Now I saw this and I went, that sounds interesting, because I saw a lot of Nintendo fans on my timeline do what Nintendo fans do every time Nintendo drops something new. Now let me tell y'all what the Nintendo fan cycle is. They see something new happen. They go, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. Thank you, Nintendo. That's how they act when they first get it, right? Then they get it. Then they use it. Then they start going, I mean, it's cool, but it has a couple flaws here and there. Then they go, you know what? I wanted to like this, man. I really wanted to like this. Excuse me. They go, I really want to like this, man. I really did, excuse me. Then they get to the point to where it's about 5 years and they go, you know what? Looking back on it, for the time, it wasn't that bad. And it looks like we're sooner than usual at the I liked it at first but part. Let's see if this article has anything to chew on, because I talked about this the other day, and for those of y'all who are clueless and sitting there like, wait, as I plug my phone up, I'll tell you about it. Those of y'all who are sitting there clueless like, what the hell you mean Nintendo Music app? Basically, the short version is Nintendo, instead of putting their music on Spotify, instead of putting their music on Tidal or something like that, they just said, fuck it, we'll make our own app. And they made their own app that hosts just purely Nintendo music, nothing but Nintendo music on it. And apparently, like I said, we're at the part. Navigating the app, which is available on iOS and Android, but only accessible to NSO subscribers, which basically, if you don't have the if you can't play online games on Nintendo Switch, just don't think about this app. It's just fuck you to those people. But only accessible to NSO subscribers, feels a lot like other music services like Apple Music or Spotify. What the fuck did you expect? That's literally what it is. This app is literally, we don't want to pay Spotify to host our music, so we said fuck you, we'll make our own Spotify with only Nintendo music, because we got it like that. Because Nintendo, out of the 3 major platforms right now, that being Xbox, when they're not in the corner jerking off their exclusives onto other consoles, and PC, PlayStation, and Nintendo's quite literally the only company that could pull something off like this on both the console side and the games library side. Because like PlayStation has a very strong library of games, but not strong enough to do nothing like this. Xbox, not the same thing. I was about to say same thing, but nah. PlayStation has a strong enough library of exclusives, or like games that are predominantly PlayStation games, like for example a Final Fantasy, where it's like there have been entries on PC and on Xbox, but that's primarily a PlayStation game, right? Games like that have music that the fans love and consider banger music. I don't really consider all of it banger music. I've heard a great tune or two come out of Final Fantasy, but There's people who would love to just listen to the whole Final Fantasy soundtrack, but that's not the case with every PlayStation game. Like, yeah, Tekken has great music. That's dead ass its best strength. It's fucking music, weirdly. And like, I wouldn't mind listening to like a Tekken soundtrack, but PlayStation doesn't have enough strong enough IPs to be able to do this, whereas Nintendo, on the other hand, if this would have been a streaming service with all Mario songs, they would already be able to win over a strong enough listener and user base. But in addition to Mario, one of the most iconic video game characters of all time, they got Zelda, which I may not like the gameplay in Zelda games, but Zelda games do have a lot of good music. They got Mario, they got Zelda, they got Metroid, and like, keep in mind, when I say Mario, they got all the Mario spin-offs. You know, so like those three right there is a lot of music, but then there's other smaller franchise like a Xenoblade or something like that, for example. Like, you get what I'm saying. Nintendo has a lot of video games with banger music. They've made some of the best video games over the decades. Too bad they don't like it when you actually play those games in any way other than the one way they want you to play it. But we'll get to that later probably. You can browse tracks from individual games or hand-curated playlists from blah, 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 blah. We know. It's the same shit you could do on Spotify, but only Nintendo music. Fucking, you ever wanted to hear, I'm a kid now, I'm a squid now, for 60 minutes straight, you could do it with this app. We get it, nigga. The extended loop feature is my favorite. I just said that. Nintendo Music doesn't have many game soundtracks to listen to. Nintendo has more than 40 years worth of titles it could have included, and right now there are only 25 games to pick from. That's a lot. Because if you get, let's say, 100 songs from all 25 of those games, that's what? 100 times 25? That's 250 songs, bruh. Like, this is supposed to, like, this is a novelty type thing. This is not something where you say, fuck it, I'm gonna quit Spotify and I'm gonna only listen to this. No. If you wanna listen to these couple specific songs, this is where you go for them. There are just 2 Zelda Breath of the Wild and, what? There are only 25 games. Oh, there are just 2 Zelda games, Breath of the Wild and Ocarina of Time, which is fucking wild. Fire Emblem is the only GBA game. There are NES games and 2 of them are Metroid. 3 NES games and 2 of them are Metroid. Technically, one of the games is Wii Channel Music, which, to be fair, is full of bangers. Yes, it is. That fucking Wii Channel Music theme goes crazy. Now, I would play it, but one of the biggest concerns on a content creator side I've seen about this is we already know that Nintendo hates it when people do anything with their IP other than shill a bunch of money to pay for it, right? So I don't want to play that music because Nintendo has a known history of clapping down on channels. Even if they have transformative uses of the music, they clap down on any channel that's playing anything Wii or Wii music like they're known for doing that. So I would play it, but we pretty much all know what it sounds like. That shit's iconic. I could go on, but the point is that Nintendo Music isn't a comprehensive collection of the company's enormous musical history. Given that most of the soundtracks are for for Nintendo Switch games, it's more of a collection of Nintendo's recent musical history. This is probably where the Nintendo fans, the Nintendo dick riders go, yeah, they're uploading more songs over time, give them a chance. Shut the fuck up, that's not how it works. But it seems like a huge miss that I can't listen to anything from Super Mario World in the app. It's recent musical history, but they ain't even got Super Mario World, the game that came out last year. Game that had, even though I didn't beat the game, that game is full of fucking bangers. Like, I watched other people play that game, and it was a lot of times where, like, even me, somebody who's kind of indifferent about video game music, a lot of the time I was sitting there like I was really jamming and bopping to a lot of those themes, especially that Dark Underworld theme they got for that game. Bussin'. Anyway, that will start to change, and probably slowly, if the drip feed of Switch Online retro games and any indication. A day after the service launch, Nintendo, my brain just says NSO. Nintendo added the soundtrack of Wonder, and on Monday, DK Country, blah 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 blah. That's just saying what they added. Nintendo Music also doesn't credit the real humans involved in making a song. That is one thing I heard, but from my understanding, that's more of a culture thing, because in American culture, like, you go to any song on Spotify, let's see, just any random song, like, because there's a feature a lot of people like just don't know about. Damn, can I get a fucking playlist with a popular artist that has like 100 fucking people? Okay, let's just search Travis Scott. Alright, boom. Oh wait, no. We could have used Goosebumps. So whenever you right click a song, you go to view credits, it meticulously lists everybody that was involved. So produced by Cardo Got Wings, Q Beats, and Yax. Written by Kevin Gorminger of Q Beats, Ronald Latour, Tim Gorminger, Brock Corsane, Devon Jackson, Yahuiz Webster, Kendrick Duckworth. Kendrick Duckworth. So, and it's performed by Travis Scott. Source, Cactus Jack / Epic, Sony Music Publishing, Universal Music Publishing. So those are all the people involved with Travis Scott's Goosebumps song. And you see how it individually lists everybody there? With the Nintendo Switch Online app, they don't even tell you, cause it's not like performing artists doing the songs. They don't even tell you who the fuck performed the song, nothing. They'll just say the name of the song and what game it's from. That's it. So, like you see right here, oh wait, no. I thought that was an example, but yeah, they don't credit nobody. They don't even tell you what orchestra made the song, none of that shit. They just say, let me make sure that shit is off properly. Okay, cool. But they don't tell you what orchestra made it, who was involved in it, none of that. You basically gotta go to the game and look in the actual game's credits to find that out, which usually I would say is not a feature that a lot of people would mind missing. But in this specific instance, when it comes to Nintendo music and the way that Nintendo fans like to consume music, it actually is important that you name the orchestras and whatnot of the people who are involved in this, because Nintendo fans would love to know who made their favorite bangers. One of the first songs I wanted to try the feature with was Metroid Prime's Soothing, whatever the fuck that is, Drift's music, but it's not possible, which, given that it's one of the main songs you hear on loop while exploring that area of the game, doesn't make sense to me. I skipped a sentence. You can't extend some songs. So basically, from what I'm hearing right now, is the looping feature isn't broken. Cause like, don't get me wrong, I love me some cool vibey music that's in the background of a video game. But I personally have never wanted to listen to background music of any game that I played extensively for 60 minutes with no Foley over it. But there are people out there who do want to listen to it, and those kind of people are the kind of people that would download this app. So that's kind of a critical feature, Nintendo. Get your shit together. This is why I always say, stop dick riding these companies, because they will disappoint you. Sure, you can just set the song to repeat, but that's not quite the same as an hour-long extension. And when you select the duration of how long you want to extend the song, the whole song starts over. It's a little thing, but I wish the app could just make the extension happen without the brief jarring halt. Not all these songs have been designed to be infinitely loopable, so that makes sense. And that was also the same way it was whenever you looked up those hour-long versions on YouTube. It would just be a person Control C V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V over and over. Times Square concert in Fortnite. What the fuck? So this nigga did what the fuck? I'm confused. What? Wait, I just got sidetracked. Did Ice Spice and them actually go to Times Square and do a concert, or was it shit in Fortnite? Trying to make music at a large part of I don't give a fuck enough to read through this article. I'll probably see a YouTube video about it later. Anyway, let's read these last couple paragraphs. And disappointingly, Nintendo Music is currently available on iOS and Android. There's no desktop or web app. That one I could see them skimping out on because they want to put it on more controlled platforms. The second you put it on PC, it becomes like 10 times easier for you to bootleg and pirate the music, which, by the way, it's already easy to bootleg and pirate Nintendo music, but I'm just saying they don't want to make it obviously easier. So you could just cut your expectations short on that shit. If you get it, woohoo. If you don't, you know why. That shit's probably never coming, not gonna lie. In my desktop browser, it isn't compatible with CarPlay or Android Auto either. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like that's asking for a lot, but at the same time, I feel like also that's like a basic feature. Alright, I'm gonna put it like this. I don't give a fuck about these features personally, but I could understand why somebody would be mad that their software doesn't have these features. Basically, I'll put it in, oh wait, I just realized I never opened Hardware Monitor. Basically, I'll put it in this type of category. It's not a feature that I will ever in life give a fuck about, but it's the respect of, if you're gonna do something, don't half-ass it, right? For the songs that are currently available, Nintendo Music is great, but so much is missing. Why? I hate when, wait, am I out of frame? No, my camera is twisted. I hate when journalists do this shit. Like, bro, either in the fucking sentence or remove the but. Cause like, so much is missing. So much is missing that part of me wonders if Nintendo pushed its service out the door ahead of the launch of its successor to the Switch so that it could add to the service later. Like, that's a complete sentence. That's a whole sentence by itself. You don't need to connect it to the other sentence, but even if you did, why did you add this period? Like, when journalists do this shit, and like, this shit pisses me off. Also, I just realized you started the sentence off with for. No, nigga, that breaks the rules of English. You could have just said the songs that are currently available, or with the songs that are currently available, or as for the songs that are currently available. Like, you can't use for to start a sentence. That's not the way that word is supposed to be used. God damn, bro. Your job is to use the English language every fucking day and you don't know how to use Grammarly, bitch ass nigga. Like, you don't even have to know this shit. Just use Grammarly, nigga. Go, like, copy this shit in the Google Docs and right click it and tell me that you don't see a blue line under that shit. Lie again. Anyway, it's a similar feeling to the frustrations with other recent non-Switch things from Nintendo, like the alarm clock. That's a novelty thing. I don't know what the fuck y'all expected from that. Like, yeah, I laughed at it and I called it a piece of shit piece of technology, but like, at the end of the day, that's basically like a joke piece of technology. Who gives a fuck? It's a similar feeling. They all have good ideas, but some weird limitations. The alarm mode to me is a stupid idea in existence, but for what it is, it's good for what it is. What weird limitations? Nintendo Music isn't as deep as I would like it to be. You answered your own question a paragraph ago. They're just throwing this shit out there to get it started. That's what Nintendo always does. It means I'm going to have to keep tracking a lot of music down on YouTube, which, like I said, one of the biggest fears from content creators is that they're going to clap down even harder on their stupid ass copyright for music. But dude in the other one was talking about how when it comes to non-Nintendo things, Nintendo is kind of a bitch about giving you something or giving up features that are fully finished. Today, I just saw this on my timeline. A message from Fukuwara, which I don't know his exact position at Nintendo, but I know that Fukuwara is, and the only reason I know how to pronounce that is because I've heard his name before, but that he is a high position official at Nintendo. This is Fukuwara. At today's corporate management policy briefing, we announced that Nintendo Switch software will also be playable on the successor to the Nintendo Switch. NSO will be available on the successor to the Nintendo Switch as well. Further information coming down the line, blah, 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 blah. Now, my question is, I wanted to show y'all this tweet because this is cool. So potentially this means if you're a dumbass or you're just down on your luck and you're a dumbass, that if you wanted to trade in your Nintendo Switch, let's say, to get the next console, like to save some money, like a dumbass, to get the next console, you don't have to worry about not being able to re-download your games and stuff like that, like with the Wii U. Whereas the Wii, if you bought anything on a Wii U shop and you deleted it off your software and you didn't re-download it before the Wii U shop shut down, you're cooked, bud. You better hope they do a re-release, or you better hope they do a re-release or sit in a corner and cry, because Nintendo does not fuck with that piracy shit. You fuck you shit. For saying this, I gotta look out my windows now because Nintendo might just put boots to glass and kick in my fucking windows and tie me up and tackle me. Get on the ground and beat the shit out of me for even saying or suggesting that simple idea. Anyway, my question is, if software will be playable on the next version, probably with some limitations, they're probably not going to unlock frame rates or let you up the graphical fidelity or anything like that. My question is, will cartridges also be usable? Because I brought one game on Nintendo Switch Online, and quite honestly, I got like 5 games on my Switch, so I never download shit on my Switch. I never delete shit off my Switch, like ever in fucking life. There's only 2 games that I really play on Switch, like at all, are every once in a while I go play Nick All Stars 1, but that's very, very rare. That would be like every 7 months type beat. And every once in a while I'll play what is it called? Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And that's like a couple times a month, maybe. Like I said, my main thing is I buy games physically. Will I be able to put my cartridges into the next Switch console? Because if the answer is no, I'm not gonna lie. Fuck you, Nintendo. Yet again, another L. This could be a potential W. If I can use my physical games on the Switch successor, potential W. Potential W. I'm also wanting to bring this article up just to quickly make fun of Ubisoft. I didn't read this article at all because the article is not what matters. It's the headline to the article. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD has sold 1.57 million units. Now, let's look at when Luigi's Mansion 2 came out. Luigi's Mansion HD 2. Okay, can y'all see it? Okay, look. Initial release date, June 27th, 2024. They sold 1 million copies on a game that's how fucking old? I don't know. The original one came out in like 2004 or something like that. Let's see when Prince of Persia Last Crown came out. I mean, not Prince of Persia. Let's see when Star Wars Outlaws came out. Star Wars Outlaws. DLAWS. Star Wars Outlaws came out in August. So Star Wars Outlaws came out after this game and made a million, sold 1 million copies before this game. I wanted to bring this up just to say, like, Ubisoft, y'all expectations be way too fucking high. On an old game that people could play for free on a fucking emulator on their phone, Nintendo still sold 1 million copies. 1 million copies is not bad. 1 million copies is decent. You know what y'all should focus on? Instead of focusing on how many copies you're gonna sell, y'all niggas need to focus on how much y'all spending on these fucking games. Cause y'all spending money making great games that nobody wants to play. Y'all spending money making 6 out of 10s that nobody wants to play. Cause I'm not gonna lie, Prince of Persia Lost Crown is really a 9 out of 10 game. To the average consumer, that shit's a 6 out of 10. Star Wars Outlaws, I would never play it because of the length of the game, but gameplay wise, from what I saw, it looked decent. It looked like a decent little 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, buy it on sale when you ain't got shit else to play type of game. Nobody asked for this. Absolutely nobody asked for this fucking game. This game looks cool. This game has a cool concept. If I was a Star Wars fan, this looks like it will be a must play from like the gameplay perspective and the story perspective of what I've seen. But like, was anybody asking for this shit? No. So don't expect people to come out and show out for games they weren't asking for. You can expect people to show up for Assassin's Creed Shadows. Jury's still out on that. Game ain't out yet. But you can expect a lot for Assassin's Creed games because those are the games you push the most. Those are the games that make you the most money. These games don't make y'all the most money. Y'all should lower y'all should lower y'all expectations and lower y'all budgets. Stop making, and this goes to all of these companies. I just love spitting on Ubisoft because of what they did to me with Syndicate and Unity back to back. Ubisoft, lower your fucking expectations and lower your budgets. Probably took them $7 and it probably took them $7 a bucket of glue and around some fucking menus for 2 seconds to make this goddamn port and push it out. And they sold 1 million still. And they dropped this game before you. And they got to 1 million after you. What does that say? Y'all niggas need to lower y'all expectations. Wanted to take a second and spit on Ubisoft real quick. But now that I'm done spitting on Ubisoft, let's open our arms and give a hug to Power World. Power World Mobile offers the franchise a chance to borrow another Pokemon trick. Now, the headline of this article is interesting. We're gonna read the Cliff Notes, the shortened version, and see if this shit is worth reading. There is no Cliff Notes short version, even though this website usually has them. Is this article really short? It is. Okay, here we go. Bullet points. It gives the... Oh, wait, no. While there are already many unique pals within Power World, there is still potential... It's still the potential to have even more, especially given the game's futuristic fantasy and industrial-like setting. Excuse me for the burp, by the way. Though there's no way to tell what could end up being created, the nearly endless pile... Okay. Just yapping. Is there anything? Pocket Pair should consider giving the mobile port its own exclusive pals, as it can benefit the game in ways such as it gives the mobile version its own... We're out of here, bro. Don't start that shit. No, don't start that shit. We're out of here, bro. Nope, don't make me buy 2 copies of the game just to get one thing. Nope, we're out of here, bro. Now that we're done with that bullshit, this is not an episode of DEI War. I might put this in a playlist, but this is not an episode of DEI War. Metacritic themselves apparently had to speak up after Dragon Age The Veilguard was review bombed. A place of belonging for all fans. Now, what people have been saying in the gaming community for an extremely long time is the bad thing about Metacritic user reviews is that they have no verified or purchase. They don't have a system in place like how Steam does, where Steam will tell you, oh, this person played the game for an hour and they refunded the game. There's very few games you could play in an hour and get a good sense of and refund. Especially long ass games like this. If the game's 30 hours, you need a good 3-4 hours to get yourself acclimated with the game and see if you like what you're getting yourself into. Something like this, Dragon Age The Veilguard, you're not gonna come off of this game with 3 hours of experience and be able to write a detailed critical review. Steam reflects that by saying, hey, this person at the time of the review only played the game for 3 hours. So they might be saying something that could be fixed or alleviated after they get 4 hours into the game, for example. So Metacritic has never had any type of way to say this is what the person did with this game. The person even brought this game. None of that. They don't have you proof of purchase before you drop a review. Nothing. So anybody could just go on Metacritic, click around on a page, and type up any old fucking thing they want to, and there's nothing saying that, hey, this guy doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're talking just to talk. Their review's not valid. There's nothing that tells you that. There's no indicators or signs other than if you're someone who played the game and is reading their review like, this doesn't make sense. But in that case, you wouldn't need the fucking review because you've already played the goddamn game. Why do you need a review if you played the game already? See what I mean? Makes their user score and their user reviews kind of fucking pointless most of the time. Anyway, BioWare's latest Dragon Age Epic holds a generally favorable review average of 84 on Metacritic based on a consensus of 54 actual professional critic scores. But the game's user score is listed at 3.8, with a majority of the user opinions falling in the starkly negative range. Yeah, basically a bunch of nerd weirdo losers are saying, oh my god, the game is woke, the game is woke, the game is woke. There's gay options inside the game, blah, 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 blah. This isn't Dragon Age. Dragon Age is woke now. When it's like, Because the other day, when I did do the DEI War episode, I said, now what are the fucking chances? Because one of the things that, like, people who actually play video games and see these weird ass niggas speak, one thing we all have in common is after a while, we realize that these niggas are just racists that don't even play the fucking games they claim to play. Because they call this game woke. And they say that this game has forced diversity and that the LGBTQ stuff in this game feels forced. When if you go back and look at the fucking Carfax to Dragon Age game, I didn't even check the first Dragon Age. I checked for this is the 4th Dragon Age game. Dragon Age the Veilguard is the 4th game. I went back and Googled it, and there were gay romance options and there were pansexual, bisexual romance options in Dragon Age 2. There were also 2 peak characters in Dragon Age 2 from what I looked up that you could only have homosexual romances with. So for me, it's like the diversity in this game is forced. Well, when they did that 2 games ago, you niggas wasn't shouting this out. What the fuck changed? I know what changed. You niggas weren't playing any games. That's what changed. Awful dialogue and obviously some woke agenda psyop. Reads a 0 out of 10 user review. I wish they would put the pictures here so we could just read the review and we don't just have to go off what they say. Cause like from what I've been taught and what I've learned, good journalism is where you show your sources and you leave no assumptions up to the reader or the consumer. You don't let the consumer assume anything. You treat it like the consumer is going to call you out on any little mistake that you make, and you show them your source to everything. So if you need to post screenshots, if you're going to quote something, post a screenshot, post a video clip. If you're going to talk about a painting, show the painting, explain what context and what viewpoint you're talking about the painting from, you know, stuff like that. Awful dialogue and obviously, oh wait, I read that. This is censorship at its worst. Woke kill the game, wrote another user who rated the game 0 out of 10, but the gameplay is nice. This is what happens when you try to push DEI, which stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion, and sexual ideology in a fantasy game. Oh, like I said earlier. Oh, you mean the fantasy game that 2 entries ago had the exact same shit in it? Shut the fuck up. Countless other examples are also visible, some of which include slurs and abuse we won't reproduce here. A number of comments note that they are leaving repeat responses as their earlier ratings have been deleted, presumably by Metacritic moderators. By contrast, the 13,000 user reviews for Dragon Age currently on Steam, which requires you to play the game before leaving a review, are mostly positive. People who play the game, from what I'm seeing, are liking it. There are, like, I've seen a few people say that, like, few people who are fans of past Dragon Age games saying, I don't really fuck with it too hard, but it's still not a bad game. It's like a 6 out of 10. And I see people new to Dragon Age saying this game is pretty fucking cool. So I think the truth lands somewhere in the middle, that this is a decent game. It isn't the greatest shit ever, but if you have experience with this genre, still an okay game. If you have no experience with this genre, this shit is gonna blow your socks off. Dragon Age features a companion character who identifies as non-binary, who the game's protagonist Rook can be supportive of. Rook themselves can also identify as transgenders if the player chooses to. And also another thing I've seen is, depending on like your race and the sexuality you choose for your character, and if your character is transgender or not, there are certain like voice options you could get that you otherwise wouldn't be able to access. In a statement to Eurogamer acknowledging the backlash to Dragon Age the Veilguard, a Metacritic spokesperson said its site was a place of belonging for all fans. The spokesperson said, "We take online trust and safety very seriously across all of our sites, including Metacritic. Metacritic has a moderation system in place to track violations of our terms of use. Basically, if you violate TOS, we got rules in place to you. Our team, yeah, wake your bitch ass up, nigga. Wake your bitch ass up. You was sleeping on the toilet till I clapped, pussy. Yeah, I see you going. That shit that was in your stomach that you couldn't push out. Yeah, I heard it get pushed out. I heard it get pushed out. Wake up, wake back up. Wake back up, gang. I seen it. I heard it. I smelt it. Wipe your butt and get me out the bathroom, bitch ass nigga. Back to this article though. Metacritic has a moderation system in place to track violations of our TOS. Our team reviews each and every report of abuse, including but not limited to racist, sexist, or homophobic insults to other users, etc." Man, what? He said the 3. Wait, I just realized my sign isn't up. My sign hasn't been up this whole time. Fuck y'all for not telling me. But what is the trio? What are the 3 things that all these niggas show and that I say every time that they show? Is just a matter of which one you get to see first? What's the holy trio? Where is it? Racist, sexist, gayist. Every single fucking time. It's always one of those three, and it's always a race to see which one they reveal first and which one they reveal last. But it's always all three. And if violations occur, the reviews are removed. Last year, which those weirdo go woke broke niggas are gonna say is censorship, when it's like, yeah, but censorship is necessary in certain contexts. Last year, fandom confirmed to Eurogamer it was evolving its processes and tools to introduce stricter moderation, following similar reactions to Horizon Forbidden West DLC. What happened with the Horizon Forbidden West? What happened? Abusive, disrespectful. Oh shit, so they said, damn, y'all niggas been doing this since last year. Holy shit. It's almost like these fucking weirdos have always been here. We've just never listened to them. Holy shit. People who go outside and touch grass and play video games have never heard of these niggas. These niggas stay in a fucking crib all day, scratching their balls, going to their minimum wage job that they'll never fucking evolve in, and just being little weirdo losers every damn day. It is the strongest and loudest answer BioWare could have mustered for the people still doubting whether it could do it. Our birdie wrote in Eurogamer's Dragon Age review. The answer is yes, empathetically. Veilguard is spectacular. BioWare. What the fuck did that have to do with anything? Anyway, yeah, like I said, Metacritic. What the fuck? I'm not even gonna go into that. Anyway, looks like Metacritic is. What the fuck? Am I lagging? Yeah, a little bit. Hold on. Let me deactivate face cam. Activate. Okay, my face cam was lagging a little bit. I hope my audio wasn't fucked up, because my RAM is at 32 and my CPU is at 45. But it just jumped to 60 since I said something on this side PC. But that shit only got like 8 gigabytes of RAM or something like that. Anyway, basically, Metacritic is cracking down on you fucking weirdos. Thank God. And getting y'all niggas the fuck up out of here. Because there's nothing wrong with not liking a game for whatever reason. But there's nothing wrong with not liking a game based on something to do with this gameplay. But a lot of these people just hate these fucking games for no real reason, bruh. No real reason. But something also I wanted to mention is I saw this, and this is what makes me mad. I'm gonna read this to you, and I'm gonna give y'all a second to process it while I drink some water. You know, go ahead. While I'm reading this, go ahead, get up, get the fuck up from your chair, get up, go to your sink, turn on the water, put a cup under the water, fill it up, and drink some while I read this. And if you're too bougie for that, put it in a pot, put a little bit of salt in there so it doesn't taste like the size of the fucking pot, so your water don't taste like iron. Put a small bit of salt in there, boil it, then pour it in a cup. But just don't pour it in a cup, it's gonna mess up or nothing. Let it cool down first too. Comics Zero isn't just an open world Souls-like Metroidvania platformer. It's also aiming to be a playable comic book, visually speaking, complete with hacking through the panel borders of the page. Check out the first gameplay trailer. Now, I'm not going to check out the gameplay trailer, but I see a lot of things wrong with this. And as I go drink my water, you finish drinking up your water and take a second to maybe rewind the video and re-listen to or reread what was read. Is that a fucking mosquito? Yes, it was. Killed this goofy ass. Wait. I just caught the mosquito, y'all. Clap it up. Anyway, what I wanted to say about this headline is, like, when promoting games, right? When making games in this day and age, it is very hard to get headline and space in this media field, because, like, one thing I've always never been a fan of is that saying that everybody has potential, is room for everybody to eat. when you become an adult, you realize, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. There's 9 seats at the table and there's 20 people here. Some of you motherfuckers gonna have to go home with your stomach going gurgle, gurgle. 11 to be specific, because I said 20 people. 11 of you niggas gonna have to go home or go somewhere else with your stomach going gurgle, gurgle to eat. Excuse me. And one thing I want to say is that's okay. Also, excuse me again. Not all of us have to eat at the same table, but you make it harder for people trying to get a legitimate seat at the table that they deserve with headlines like this. Like, I hate this. Like, first off, on a conceptual level, I hate this game. Open world game, Souls like Metroidvania platformer. This shit sounds like a fucking word salad. And it's like they took all the most conventional, most overused things in the gaming space right now that people are getting tired of, and they jammed them all together. Like, how many open world games do we need? Close down the damn world. With these games, treat it like 2020. Close down the world a little bit. Souls like, what do I always say about platform fighters that just are melee again? You're never gonna be melee, little bro. Give it a fucking rest. Metroidvania, you're not gonna be Castlevania or Metroid. Not everybody has fun backtracking in your game. Give it a rest, little bro. Now, does that mean that this game is necessarily trash or that this game is necessarily bad? No. I think this game probably could be good, because going from this screenshot, the art style looks cool. But I'm gonna be real, the average person, we're gonna do this shit right here. We're gonna exit out the fucking tab, because that word salad seems ass. Drop the fucking trailer. Next time, just drop the fucking trailer. Oh, this one, I didn't want to go into the article too neither. I wanted to just, talk about it. Hear me out. I think you should consider a 1080p monitor for your PS5 this Black Friday. I don't think you should consider. I think you should get. Why should you get a 1080p monitor for your PS5? Because it is expensive as fuck to get a 4K TV, to get a 4K monitor, right? Most of you niggas can't tell the difference between 720p and 1080p. So take it from somebody who has done extensive work with video, and I could look at a video off rip from like 10 feet away from a phone screen and tell if it's 1080p or 4K, 144 or 24 FPS. I can just tell all that shit from across the room on a regular iPhone screen. From across the room, somebody got their iPhone leaning up against the wall watching YouTube. Oh yeah, that video's in 480p. Oh yeah, that video's in 4x4. Oh yeah, that video's in 1x1. That video's in 4x3. That one's in 1080. That one's in cinematic 23 screen ratio. You're not gonna use this shit, little bro. If you're just playing games on your console, what you should always prioritize is the frame rate over the quality. Because I'm gonna be real, on PS5, most of your games, you're not gonna be able to push it past 60. So what you should do, in terms of frames per second, what you should do is you should get a 1080 monitor. If you just balling like that, maybe get yourself a 144 monitor, play your games at 144, 60 when it's available, maybe 120 every once in a goddamn while, and just be happy. Because I promise you, as somebody who can notice the difference when you're focused on the gameplay, nigga, you're not gonna notice the difference at all. You're not gonna notice the difference, gang, at all. Pack it the fuck up. Go home, man. Go home.